Derby Media.
Enjoy your stay. Webby, GA, and Matt are here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Come and have your say.
On the face of it, Craig Cook was a very naughty boy on Saturday. But there are questions to be asked, such as, what the hell was that flagman doing walking into the path of the bike with no brakes? And in time-honoured fashion, what happened next? Only in Speedway. Okay, good evening and welcome to the Speedway Tavern. With us in the studio tonight we have Chris Webby, drinks my beer brown.
Good evening.
And we got Matt, you're looking a bit more gorgeous than normal today, mate. What's going on? Say hello, everybody, to Steve Morgan, who's dapping for Matt Buck today. And yes, things are looking up, Chris.
Yeah.
Evening, Mike. Evening, Chris. Evening, Taverners.
Good evening.
So we keep forgetting that evening taverners.
Yeah, evening taverners. I know.
I remember you
Steve Morgan in
historical.
God, it's good having a professional here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Well, welcome, as I say, Steve. What are we going to be talking about this week? Well, there's the Craig Cook incident, of course, and we'll have a little chat about that. That's probably where we'll start, I would think. Wolverhampton had a match last night, or I beg your pardon.
Certainly did.
Which, from what I understand, was quite a good...
Excellent meeting. Excellent.
I've got to ask, before we go any further, the track, what was the track like? Because there's been a few moans and groans about the track. Similar to Birmingham,
from a personal perspective, I think over the last week or so we've been kind of spoilt. We didn't really touch on the programme. I listened to the programme last week. We didn't really touch on the British final and how good the racing was there. The Rockload GP on Saturday was also a fantastic meeting, and the track at Monmouth last night kind of showed that if you give these guys a good surface to race on, they can perform and sort of entertain the crowd, which is what they certainly did.
It's something we've obviously been hunting at Birmingham for the past 3 or 4 weeks. Last match seemed to be sort of getting towards a much better surface and hopefully our friend Lawrence Rogers will be on the show and let us know whether they've actually got the new shale down, because I know they was looking at it, but of course the weather might have intervened.
Well, we've had some big downpours locally, haven't we? So if it has been put down, it's been bedded in, and you have to hope that the weather does help with regards to binding the shale with what's down currently. So.
That's some nice wet stuff today. The day before was nice. Get it the day before. That's what I think. So okay, Chris, would you like to tell everybody how they can take part in the show, please?
Okay, so if you're not already on Facebook, you can go to www.SRB Radio, or if you are on Facebook, just search for UK Speedway Tavern, and we're on all good Facebook groups and pages.
I haven't got the heart to tell him that nobody's laughing at that www.
I should carry
I'll do it for you, mate. I don't worry about it. I'll smile for you.
Shall we say hello to a few people?
Yes, let's do that.
Loads and loads. Let's say hello to Neil, Jeremiah. That can't
Jeremiah Bullfrog.
Margaret, Paul, Elliot, Jim, Lewis, Simon, Sean, Dave, Alan, Pauline, Ben, Dylan, Duncan, Steve, alive, somebody called Matt Book, Alan, Jack Wright, Dave, Alec, James, Alex,
Matt,
Stephen.
did you say Matt Book there? I thought we banned him.
I thought he was supposed to be on that. New Shale is down.
Brilliant. That's good news to hear.
again.
Frank Luckhurst.
And Frank Luckhurst.
Brilliant.
Not
Brilliant,
forgetting
brilliant.
Frank.
Okay, so Craig Cook. Shall we? And we want all your input on all of this, by the way, your opinions, what you think, and anything that you guys want to. Yes, Matt Buck does look different tonight. He's had a shower, I think.
A lot of people have said it's an improvement.
Yeah. They'll be kicking me out next. Oh, God. Anyway. Yeah, so we want to know what you guys think. So there's been a video posted.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter yesterday. It was posted by a former rider. Are we allowed to say names?
Of course you can.
Yeah.
Well, if he's posted it, he's owned it.
Well, yeah,
he?
true. Martin Dugard posted kind of an Eastbourne stalwart through the family and the generations. It was all that was posted is the actual incident where there was a man with a red flag walking onto the track, which he walked, in my opinion, walked in towards where Craig was, trying to avoid. They've kind of clashed. I don't know if the guy knew that Craig hadn't got any brakes on his bike. It's Craig's then sort of thrown a left shoulder stroke, left side of peak of helmet onto the guy, and the video stops there. So there's obviously more gone to it. I'd seen pictures posted from a distance from sort of the home straight of where it was, and there's always two sides to every story, or is there three sides nowadays? I don't know, but
well, there is. I mean, first of all, as a flagman myself, you don't want to see a rider aiming any sort of head or whatever, and so that's wrong, and he probably should, I guess, receive some sort of fine for that. I guess. However, also with my flagman shoes on, I don't understand what flagman was doing where he was.
No.
And why he was. From what I can tell, it would be the second bend by the pit where they go the pit.
Yeah, I
into
think
the
it's
pits,
where the
wouldn't it?
pits. I think that what had happened was three of the riders, Craig being one, I think Kyle Bickley was probably another one who was just behind. They'd sort of left the parade area that was, and were either heading back to the pits. But there was, looking at the comments that were, I couldn't see any children that were involved that were at the start gate, which kind of what they were making out what had actually happened. So,
but they was past the start gate by that time.
Yeah, well, they looked like they were by the pits, going into the pits. So
he's quite legitimate. It looked to me like he was trying to move to the left to get past the Marshal, and the Marshal. That was my take on it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
I've got to be honest. If I was that Marshal, if I'd done that, I'd be expecting not to be the Marshal anymore.
Well, yeah. If there's going to be any recompense with Craig sort of getting a fine of sorts, then there's got to be some sort of action taken against the Marshal for his actions as well.
I would say so. I've never seen anybody in that position, in that situation, so I don't quite understand what he was doing there and what he thought he was doing. Obviously, emotions were very high at that point.
Yeah. It was a tense. It's just before the meeting. There's a 4 points riding on it. I think, consequently, I don't think Craig made the actual Heat 1. I think he didn't actually race.
Right.
So whether there was something not right from his perspective, he wasn't happy, or look, there's two sides to every story, and we can only see the pictures from what we've seen.
We can only see what we saw and what we've heard about it.
Yeah.
So if there's anybody out there listening tonight that was there, we'd love to know your opinions. Alan Norville says Eastbourne should hold their head in shame. Jim Thorrell says, "Hi, young man. I presume that's you. It can't be me." Dylan Spuddy Hodgetts, you need to get a shorter name, my man. My Twitter and Facebook have been light the past 24 hours for daring to say Cook wasn't as much to blame as people are making out. I don't think he was I don't think he was to blame for the initial going into. Possibly his reaction. It's difficult, isn't it? Your adrenaline's running and everything, but you don't really want to see that. However, having said that, do we not, and this is my own personal opinion now, need to see a little bit more needle in matches than we used to get it? I mean, you're a Wolverhampton supporter, you will know all about Wolverhampton Cradley days.
Yes. And, you know, it's something that we've kind of been wanting to happen, but on another note, not wanting to happen. It's a sort of twofold thing, isn't it? Yeah. With Craig, I believe he's got sort of, he's a bit hot-headed. He's sort of that kind of guy.
Yes, he's certainly got that.
You know, he's got that sort of in his locker, and that's just emotions. I would rather see it with riders and riders. I think probably the last one that I can remember is Scotty Nichols at Cardiff, where it's sort of all blown out sort of thing. So, yes, you'd rather see that with rider on rider, and maybe the track person with a red flag sort of needs probably taking out of that situation and not being involved in it again. On a positive note, there's plenty of good speedway that happened on Saturday.
Yes, oh yes, and we were, and I mean that was the other thing about it. Unfortunately, it wasn't a great match, the Eastbourne Glasgow, because I don't know where you stand on the Eastbourne home track advantage. That's probably been done to death. But you know, you do wonder, don't you? You do wonder.
Before we go off topic, there was a lot of comments on this particular.
Well, let's go through some of them. Alan Atherton said, "Seeing the video regarding the Cook incident, the Marshal, in my opinion, moved towards Cook. Cook tried to go round him. Whilst I don't condone the reaction from Cook, he shouldn't have been on the track. Full stop."
Totally agree.
I think that's exactly where we was with it. HSE saying nothing more posted. I think this has backfired on Dugard. Okay. The Eastbourne track is shocking, says Alan Norville. Okay. Dylan Spuddy Hodgetts, who's still got to get a shorter name. I saw a full 2-minute video earlier today, and both sets of riders got involved, which is a bit of a joke. Don't think bans should be handed out like people are saying. We want the best riders in the league on track, but fines should be handed out to numerous riders and Eastbourne staff members. You've got to be careful about the staff members situation, because a lot of these will be unpaid and volunteers, so you need to take that into account. Jeremiah Bullfrog, but maybe, I mean, if it was in a football scenario, the club would be fine, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
For the action of their...
Yeah. Well, you're representing the club, yeah.
They're representing the club, and they're also, you know, there should be some sort of training involved. As basic, you would have had some basic training, just you know, what you should be sticking your red flag out for. Yeah. And the times of
it was very basic training. Don't go on the track, and only put your red flag out if the referee puts his red light on. That's pretty much it. A little bit more involved in that, but that's the essence of it.
Yeah.
You know. Jeremiah Bullfrog. The video does not tell the whole story. You needed to be there to appreciate why.
Sure.
Was it something about that the guys were supposed to ride around the outside of the track rather than the track, hence why he was flagging him?
I think you can see, I've seen on the video, when Craig is actually going towards where the Marshal is, he's got his left foot down. There's a real big massive skid where his shoe was. You can see where his shoe is actually trying to slow him down. He's not trying to go past him or anything.
Yeah, it looks to me like he's trying to go around the outside.
Slow down and avoid him, you know, and that's just, you know, that's what I can see. His steel shoe has made a right indentation because the track's just been freshly prepared for the meeting, so that's shown up very, very significantly, in my opinion.
Alan Atherton says, regardless of the why, it doesn't justify a Marshal stepping in front of a bike. Nor Cook's reaction. I would never step in front of a bike. It's a stupid thing to do.
It's crazy.
I don't. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Okay, a bit more. Yeah. Gosh, it's going on. Is there any way of riding around the outside of the track? Not at Eastbourne. Okay.
They ain't got a ground track, have they?
No. No. Thought they went round the stock part for the parade. It wasn't the parade though, was it? It was. No. I think they'd been to the tapes.
They'd been. It was the parade, I think. They'd actually.
It was on the track.
Yeah,
then.
They were still announcing the Eastbourne riders when 3 of the Glasgow riders decided to leave there. So.
No fire without a spark. Where did the spark come from? From Jeremiah Bullfrog. And Alan Norville, what is your opinion on Martin Dugard post? Do we know the Martin Dugard post?
no.
If somebody could post that for us, I'll give you my opinion.
We've seen the video and that's about it. I haven't read
Dylan Spuddy Hodgett, so from now on going to call DSH.
Or Spud.
Yes, Spud.
Spud.
There was a reason we brought him along. It wasn't a headbutt as people are making out. Having said that, he did have intent there, it seems, so that needs looking at. I do, however, think Craig should have been the bigger man in Heat 13 when Kenneth offered the handshake and Cook refused it.
Yep.
If he took it, it doesn't mean they're mates, just shows they're mature enough to put events behind them.
And sportsmen.
I can't disagree with that at all.
Yeah.
Although, we have to say we don't know what's been said between them in the pits, or we don't know what's happened. It does the Speedway no harm at all with a bit of fisticuffs. Crowd goes home happy one way or the other. But there is a certain amount of truth in that.
There is, yeah.
There is a certain, and it gives, if Martin Dugard's got anything about him, he's onto all the local papers the next day and making something of it.
And it's not that it's a new thing. It's gone on for a long time.
We mentioned some of the. I mean, Matt's got stories of.
I would never. If I was that track marshal, I would never have a fight with somebody who's got a crash answer.
No.
Much point.
No, because first place, he's got to be a bit of a nutter to ride a bike with no brakes as well. You know what I mean?
There is that side. Yes, there is that. There is that. So, is there any more on this, or can we move on? Okay. Pauline Rawlins, I can't see what she's saying. Remember the days when Cradley Heath used to come to the old Bellevue track? Fun and games. Everybody's got a Cradley story, haven't they? Something, and not just reading that one from Jeff with regards to lingering. That was I was there that night. I was actually on the first bend when they squared up, so that was more recent. I had forgot about that, and that was a real good race. That was. I remember seeing that race. It was such. I think that was a lot of emotion on that night because you were all, it was a tight match. It was a fantastic. Yeah, it was a fantastic night of racing. And obviously, winner takes all at the end of it. So.
Once again, the Bellevue track didn't disappoint.
Frank says hi, Paul. Just who's Paul? I don't know, but hello, Paul. Jeremy on Bullfrog, never been to Earlington, then Steve Morgan.
I have. 1979.
Where?
That's showing my age now.
6
Gosh. I've been a little bit more recently. A couple of years ago. When we met them in the final.
My dad drove a Wolsey at that time. I remember it well. That is a story too.
Yeah. I know.
Did you have jumpers for goalposts? We're going to go down.
Alan says Kenneth apparently was holding Cook down. Says Alan.
I need a bit more context, I think, with that one. Should be a bit tasty when Eastbourne come back to Glasgow. Well, again, if the Glasgow promoter's got anything about him, he'll be using that in the press. Yeah. So always a silver lining, I guess.
Well, that was the second leg of the cup, the Championship Shield. So I'm not sure if they've got to go up there for the league meeting. I assume so, based on that comment.
Wouldn't you be Buckingham Challenge? Maybe. Most of the riders involved on Saturday were at King's Lynn last night across both sides. Can bet they were having a laugh about it last night. It needs to be put to bed now. Seems to be taking away from what has been a brilliant week for British Speedway in regards to action. My heart still hasn't repaired from Danny Hare's Heat 19.
Buckaroo Danny Hare's.
Yeah, that was something. That was sort of Gollub-esque.
It was.
I thought. Talking of which, Thomas Golub and Craig Boyce, what a classic. We need to put that on again at the end of the show.
I remember it well, yeah.
Was it 15 pence to get 15 pennies to get in when you first went, Steve?
No, I think I was at the age where my dad used to carry me over the turnstile, so it was free.
There you go. I wasn't quite then. I think it was about 50 pence to get into Birmingham.
Yeah, it was very cheap. I don't remember. I was too young.
Right. So, oh gosh,
I know, sorry,
There's loads. Okay, we'll do a few more.
We've caught up then.
Okay, I want to try. But we've done the half an hour on this now.
Okay.
It was said there was fisticuffs after the Marshal incident. Okay, but again, it's all hearsay, isn't it? So it's difficult to comment on. Would organise a fight between Rory the Tiger and Eastbourne Mascot and advertise it everywhere in Glasgow? I'll tell you what, I think I might pay to come and see that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would, yeah.
Cook seems to hit the headlines a lot for non-riding incidents. Well, we've mentioned a couple, haven't we? So,
We're caught up now on those, so there we go.
But, you know, it's interesting, isn't it? Let's talk about a few of the riders. Okay, Ben Barker. If he's riding against you, you hate the guy. But if he's riding in your team, he's that sort of guy that is such a team man that everybody that's on his side loves him. I mean, we had that experience at Birmingham.
And Nicky Pedersen is exactly the same.
Yeah. Danny Ayres is probably looking to be that sort of a character as well. You need those sorts of characters.
Yeah, it's something that we'll say it's lacking, but it's they used to be more apparent in years gone by. But you don't see it as much with a modern day rider.
No, and I think part of that is because they're in so many teams. These are probably it's probably your teammate in another team in Poland or in another league.
Spud said about them riders being in the King's Lynn and Ipswich pits last night, probably having a laugh and joke about it because, like you say, it is. So that rivalry has disappeared a little bit. I still remember the time when Gary Middleton came onto the centre green with a gun. Somebody had said something and didn't like. Wow.
I'm not saying that's a good idea, by the way. Before anybody says, okay, we got.
I'm going to try and play that later.
You're going to try and play this video, which is, I presume, a longer video to do with the incident. So we'll all look at that.
You want to read a couple of them and I'll go.
Cook and Barker had a fight in the pits at Ipswich, I think, with Cook being chucked out of the meeting. Don't know anything about that. Sudden Sam practising again to join Brummies as he feels let down that he's the only rider not to be asked.
He did a couple of laps last night at Momber after the meeting.
Did he?
He did.
Maybe he's got something.
And ended up laying it down on the first bend after popping a wheelie on the arm straight.
Nice. Doesn't change that. Are you putting that video up now? Then? Are you just getting it ready?
See if what it's going to do first before I.
Okay. Well, let's move on. Let's move on.
Do you want to watch it?
Well, if you can put it up, we'll watch it. Yeah. If you can put it up.
It's up.
Okay, so we'll be quiet for a bit while we will watch this video.
I don't know if there's any. I can't hear any sound on it actually, so I don't know what's going on there. Oh, okay. I don't think we need sound.
No, it is all.
We can talk over it, so because.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Is there anybody left in the pits at this point? Where?
Look at that.
We haven't seen a proper scrap like that at a Speedway match for a very long time.
Wow.
Very tasty.
There you go.
Never fought a man with a crash helmet on.
Is it? No. This is what we're missing.
Is it really?
It goes on for quite a long time, so if you want to come back.
Okay, we'll put it on at the end anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we'll put it on at the end of the show. It's get moving on. You want to talk about last night's match?
Last night's meeting was a very good one. Track was well prepared by the staff, and I think people are very quick to criticise when it's not good. But last night it was a very good track. Lines in Carlson Corridor and coming out the fourth bend were good, and there was a bit of dirt out there for getting round the outside as well. And Wolves had a bit of a change to their lineup with Luke Becker moving into number 2 due to the new averages for August, meaning Ryan Douglas had dropped down into the reserve berth, and I think Luke coming out in Heat 1 was a bit of a shock for him. It's a bit different when you're coming out in Heat 2 in the reserves race, but coming up against the 2 number 1s, and it's always a thankless task, that number 2 role. I just think from his perspective, he would have probably looked at wanting to get into the main body of the team as the season progressed, and he will only learn from his experiences because the kid has got abundance of talent.
Yeah, I mean they've all had to do it.
Yeah. So he'll benefit from it as time sort of goes on. He failed to score in his first 2 roads, and then the turning point for me was in Heat 8 when Wolves were in a situation where Luke hadn't scored in his first 2 rides, Ryan Douglas hadn't scored in his first 2 rides, so he dropped Kyle Howarth in there and they got a 5-1, which kind of sort of got the Wolves 8 points in front. And you know, I was always a bit sceptical of the Frick and Bier combination later on in the meeting, but to be fair, they had a 5-1 in 8-11 with over Sam and Kyle, but Jakob and Sam had a real good race with them in 8-13 and got a 5-1, which kind of put the meeting to bed and gave Wolves the point. So
what
overall,
was the scoreline in the end?
54-36.
So 54-36 doesn't sound like it's a brilliant match, does it? Because it
No.
sounds quite easy.
Yeah, but the racing was an excellent night's racing. Decent crowd as well, which is always a plus side. Weather was good. I think we got to 8-11 in an hour, which is, you know, only one sort of types infringement early on, but that apart, it was.
Every week he does this.
I've turned that off.
Every week without fail. Dad, get me some chips on the way home.
I told you not to call me Dad.
Grandad, get me some.
As you can see, it's a professional outfit.
So yeah, overall, good night for Rory. 4 wins. There was six of the all top 6 scored. All had race wins. So only Ryan Douglas had a tough night with zip points, but you know it's a learning curve as well for him. Probably wouldn't have seen the track as grippy as it was in the first few heats, and it slickened off as the night went on. But you know the prep that was done of the track in between the track gradings and the interval, you know, was excellent, which provided a surface where they could attack it, which was good.
Which is what you need, obviously.
Yeah.
So I got a bit distracted halfway through. Then you probably noticed because I've just received some news. I've just had a quick look at the Brummies website.
Okay.
And I just found out Adam Ellis is back tomorrow.
Oh, right, okay.
So we've got a full team tomorrow.
Good news.
So that's 3 weeks after he broke his collarbone. Let's hope he's okay. Yeah, I hope he's okay.
Hopefully, been fitted with a rubber one.
Yeah. So we'll come back to that in a minute. But obviously Jordan Jenkins as well, new signing. But we'll come back to all of that in a moment. What have Wolves got going on this week? Have got anything coming up?
Peterborough next. Swindon Thursday night.
That's going to be a tough old meeting.
Yeah, away from home. I think looking at the 5 meetings they have got away from home, they're all tough ones. Just flicked to my programme that I purchased last night.
It's you.
Yeah, the Swindon, Kings Lynn, Bellevue, Poole. I think them 4 tracks are going to be tough tracks to get some points. If they can pick up probably 3 points.
Kings Lynn's probably your best hope out, I would have thought.
Yeah, it depends if Lambert's back, because he was rider replacement last night. So it'd be interesting to see how they get on. But reading Pete Adams' notes when I got home last night, it was interesting sort of when he made comment about Sam Masters and Nick Morris having double ups now at Edinburgh and Somerset, and it's bike time, that, especially with Nick, with the length of time that he's had out injured. If you're not regular racing in Sweden and Poland, which they're not, then they need to be getting laps in, just to be sort of ticking over. And I think, you know, he scored 13 points at Newcastle for on Sunday, and you know, he looked better last night. So hopefully the Wolves can kick on back end of the season. But it's going to be important how they sort of how they get on away from home, because they look pretty solid now on their home track.
I think I totally agree.
Before you go into this,
Yes.
please share the stream.
Yes.
And if you do, you go into the pot and you could win a prize.
Well, your name goes into the pot.
Yes.
Let's just
pedanticness.
let's just be clear. You know, some of our listeners are like, both of them. Spud has said Nicky Pedersen is an odd one. On track he's ruthless. office is a gent. I remember meeting him in Wolverhampton a couple of years ago. I'm blocked by him on Twitter from my younger days when I had no filter about what I tweeted, yet still paid for a picture with him because I like him or not. He's
Like
a
him,
legend in
like him or
Speedway.
not.
Oh yeah, okay, I understand that. Well, he is a legend in Speedway, and you do need those. I think the GPs are missing him.
Characters.
Yeah.
He's a top draw character.
Yeah.
He's ruthless, and I think I kind of felt over the last 18 months, I thought kind of Freddie kind of took over that mantle of being the ruthless one, not leaving lines.
Well, it looked like he was trying to anyway at times.
Yeah. I feel Freddie this year has been a little bit less ruthless in the GPs, but he's had some horrific injuries as well.
So we're unfortunately coming back to the Craig Cook thing again. Everybody wants to talk about that, but we'll just read a few more comments on it. Jack Wright said, "Never beat Carl Stonehewer getting a Reading rider in a headlock on the centre green." Okay, so I understand that. Yeah, okay. Craig Smith, it's about setting an example. It shouldn't happen in any sport. The reaction of Cook is out of order, and he should be fined heavily and maybe even banned. I think banned is a bit strong. I think a couple of things actually. Having seen that video that we saw, I think the club definitely should get some sort of fine. That shouldn't be that many people coming on and piling in.
No.
That's wrong. Even Mark Lemon complimented Wolves on the standard of the track. Okay, and somebody said that the mechanic asked for it. I'm not sure what that was about. At the point the presentation of the riders to the fans was only half done, the video does not show all the rest on the track with young kids on the centre green. I've got to be honest. If they do it, if the bikes are going round, should there be young kids on the centre green?
There's young kids on the centre green when they pay to actually watch a race on there. The mascots.
But
the mascots definitely.
Presumably that would be a controlled situation.
Of course, there's going to be a coordinator with them, definitely. So it's irrelevant because they're sort of the kids. It's not an excuse to use the kids as a reason why the riders can't do whatever they do. If you have 16 mascots for the Olympic at Monmouth, there's 16 kids watch the first race from the centre green. That's part of the package. So I can't see what the problem is with that, to be honest.
It's just, I think it's one of those situations that got heated too quickly and people reacted, and it happens. But
well, if their mission was to sort of roll Craig and cause
well, he has made a rod for his own back with that, hasn't he?
Well, it's affected the team because they've ended up getting a right lamping.
Well, to be fair, people do it at Eastbourne.
Anthony Bailey, I don't know if you agree with this, he says, as I always say, you don't need the best riders for great meetings. The best tracks produce the best meetings.
I would add to that. I think, you do need good tracks to get good meetings. But I would add to that, you need levelish teams. Although,
surely good riders ride good tracks.
You take the British final as an example, and there's probably, when you look at the meeting before, and you probably would have said there were 6 or 7 riders who could possibly win it. And the best races were with those riders racing against each other, and obviously the not so good riders racing with each other.
And then there's Denny. Then there was Danny.
Then there's Denny Ayres doing his buckaroos.
And nobody, by the way, picked Charles Wright as far as nobody did in here to win the thing.
No.
That was quite out of the blue thing.
I kind of feel Charles will know the answer to this, but he will be sort of really conscious of the future and the Cardiff GP, and I'm hoping it doesn't affect his racing from a commitment perspective because of not wanting to miss out. Maybe
I see.
You know what I mean? Because he's
not that far away, is it? But,
it's 8 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so.
We're right smack bang in the middle of the season now. Maybe we should have the British.
He doesn't strike me as that sort of rider.
No.
But
But maybe we should have the British final at Cardiff on a Friday night.
Only moan about last night was Howarth did not beat Bier on the line. How could the ref see from where he was? I was level with the line. Bier won, not as it made a difference to the score. That's been something that's been a bit of a theme over the past couple of weeks. I mean, it's happened a couple of times at Birmingham, and of course, and some away matches as well. So you can't just blame the fact that the referee isn't in line with the line. But it's always been a bugbear of mine. Why have we not got a ref on the track by the line just for that? Or a trainee ref would do the job.
Yeah, a trainee ref. The Marshal should be sort of,
like a fourth official type thing.
Yeah. Somebody who's on the the person who waves that flag to say the checkered flag's there. So they've got the best view, haven't they? Surely.
Yeah, surely.
Of course, the GPs have got the best way of doing it
with the transponders.
That would stop any silliness, shall we say?
Well, that rolls on beautifully to the next subject.
Okay, which is
it's like we've rehearsed this, isn't it? You know what I mean?
When have we ever rehearsed anything? I'm looking at the time. We've got a few things to get through.
I know, yeah.
So you told me this Craig Smith thing.
Yeah.
Do you want to read it out?
A change of subject. What a superb meeting the GP was at Rocklaw at the weekend. Every race was exciting and plenty of passing considering it was a slick track. Imagine if there was a bit of dirt on it and grippy.
I didn't see the track because I've confessed as I came in this today. I didn't get a chance to watch the thing, which I'm annoyed about. It would be a great one when I didn't get a chance to watch it.
You can definitely talk about it next week.
Yeah,
because you will not forget it. Yeah. There was some great racing.
You've seen it. Was the track slick?
I think there was lines on there, and I think the riders always talk about having different lines to ride. If there was times where Leon Madsen made split last minute decision and kind of cut back and kind of had the confidence because the size of the track and the shape of the track enabled him to do that. I thought there was a bit of dirt on there. I think Dudek suffered early on with the grading because he was number one, so he's the number one race jacket, so he came out after every track grade and gradually worked his way to the outside gate, and he struggled. And I think they did a little bit more track work after the one track grade to try and help him out.
Right,
a bit of a Polish thing. The commentator said they're doing some more track work, and he came out and he rode a hell of a lot better. But it's getting that setup correct and getting it right for the riders. Then enabled them to sort of be committed to whatever lines they wanted to race and have the confidence to know that they, if they wanted to give the big blast around the outside, and they could.
See, I think that it's a bit of a misnomer that you need loads and loads of dirt on the track. You need a little bit. You need something to work with.
I've seen Polish meetings where the riders look like they're actually going in slow motion around the corners, but because they're aware of everything that's going on, they just get the right sort of traction coming out the corners, because that's where they need the power. The power needs to come coming out of the corners. Yeah. So you don't need a lot of dirt.
You need enough to be able to work with. Yeah. Particularly, I think with the way the new bikes are, because they bog down if you're not careful.
Spud said he went to the pub to watch with a couple of friends, and I chose Charles to win it. I feel like that track suits him, and so it proved when he got in front. You never felt he'd get past. I think he was very unfortunate to be excluded in the start crash too, but in the end, a deserving winner.
Just flipping back to the British GP.
Yeah. I mean, that one where he got, I think he should have been all for that really.
When I think Starkey's still injured, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's still out. Yeah. I think Charles was just carrying too much speed.
But there's no brakes on these things.
No.
You could make a case that Stark came across him, couldn't you? I mean, I don't think he did, and if he did, he certainly wasn't on purpose. He was taking it, but so it was one of them. But I think it might have won him the final.
Well, it gave him the opportunity to get out in the effective semi-final, and he was firing. He was on fire.
And I know that Ty had a word with him and sort of said, just Forget about that one now. That's gone. It's the next one. That's the important.
Yeah.
Important.
Can we do this?
Yes, let's do that.
Because we've only got 20 minutes left. Competition time. Competition time. Go on then.
We've got to get a proper jingle here.
And the winner, who shared the stream, you got it?
Yeah.
There we
We've
go.
got one.
Right.
That's all we need.
Duncan Pemberton.
Duncan Pemberton. Here we go.
Who's just said, didn't Madsen get done for silencer tampering a few years ago? Or have I dreamt that? I don't know. I don't know anything about that. But you didn't dream the fact that you've won a T-shirt, Mr. Pemberton.
Yes. Message us and I'll get that off to you.
Yeah, no problem. And what we'd really love you to do, please, is take a photo of you wearing it and we'll put it up on our Rogues Gallery. That would be fantastic. So, and I was just going to read that, but it's disappeared.
Too
Not
late.
to worry.
There you go,
Not to worry.
Okay. So, do you want to go to the predictions or what? Or you got something
Just want to
else
say,
you
well, yeah, I just want to say congratulations to, because we haven't had a chance to talk about it. It doesn't look like we're going to get a chance, although we'll try. Congratulations to Bartok for winning ex-Brummy rider. I think he rode one match for us. So congratulations. I think he's probably going to be the world champion this year, the way it's going.
I would disagree.
Okay, you're going to go with
Leon Madsen.
Interesting. Okay.
I think that he has really improved over the last 18 months. I think last year winning the European Championships has sort of done him in good stead. So, yeah, Madsen for me.
Yeah. We shall see. We shall see.
Quick
yes.
shout out to the Bulls on
I beg
2
your
away
pardon?
wins
Oh, the Bulls.
last week, and on top of the MSDL table, said Lawrence. Okay.
Absolutely, yeah, they've done really well, much better than they did last year. Yeah, fantastic result. I hope to see them. I should have a quick mention about Birmingham versus Eastbourne tomorrow. Is that one of the matches? What league are we doing this week?
Belvieu, Leicester, on White versus Milton, or Plymouth versus.
Okay, so it's National League. So just I thought I'd do a quick poll here. Do you think it's going to win tomorrow? And given that we've now got a football team, we've got a football team apparently, a full team tomorrow.
A prediction for me, I'm going to go with Ellis back, Brummies by 4.
Because you do know, you hadn't said that, you wouldn't have been invited back against.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to do the tables
That one
first?
prediction off you, Mister.
Prediction? What was the prediction?
Birmingham versus Eastbourne
Oh
tomorrow.
yeah, I'm going to go for a win.
Well, that's a prediction.
By
of
how many?
sorts. 6 points. I'd settle for that. I'm going to go for 4 points because I'm too scared to say 2. Lawrence might not let me on the track tomorrow. But yeah, I think a win. It's going to be interesting.
You don't want to be on the track. You want to be on the centre green with your flag.
Yes, I won't be. No, I'll be tempted now. No. And good luck to Jordan Jenkins tomorrow. I know nothing about him. I'll find out tomorrow. That'd be a great one. Right, okay, let's have a look at this league table.
Let's see who's top of the...
How's he doing this?
Who is top, by the way?
Me.
Oh, well done.
Yeah. 30 points. I'm just ahead of Ben Clifton.
He just flips a coin.
Well, he follows. I can see what he does. He follows.
30's Paul, followed by Sean, Duncan, Pemberton, Simon, Corbett, Alan Atherton, Jeff
I'm
Taylor,
really unhappy now.
Matt. Where's GA? Oh, he's right down
I've
the
been
bottom.
overtook by Matt. That's not good at all.
There you go.
Oh, well, Matt's not.
Has Matt done his predictions already, or have I got to do them for him?
No, I think... Oh, I don't know. Oh, no, he's probably done them. Because he sent me these.
He'll collate it.
And
anyway.
Brian Book is climbing the table. He's now up to 17th.
Good God.
There we go.
I want Lawrence Rogers to take part. I want to see.
Nah, he knows nothing about Speedway.
Well, that's true. Well, that doesn't seem to bother you.
Exactly, yeah. Works
Right, shall we go through the
Okay,
meetings for next week, and we'll do the predictions, and you can do the first one because you're leading.
Okay, the first one is Belvieu versus Leicester. Are you writing them down, yeah?
This is National League, so Belvieu Colts, I presume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for Belvieu by 6.
They'll be looking to bounce back after losing to
Yeah, so I'm going to
Kent.
go. I'm going
last
to.
week.
I'm going to tie 2 points by 2 points to Leicester.
Interesting. Interesting. If I was going to predict, if you're going
You
to
are
predict,
predicting.
okay,
You are predicting.
Bellevue by 10.
Okay.
I think they'll be fired up.
Okay.
Okay. Next one.
Next one is Isle of Wight.
And by the way, put your predictions on the shout box.
They are.
Okay. Shut up then, shall
There's
I?
hundreds already. Next meeting is Isle of Wight versus Mildenhall.
Isle of Wight versus Mildenhall. That's down to me.
Yep.
I'm going to say Isle of Wight by 10.
I'm going to say Isle of Wight by 6.
You want me to go 8, don't you? I'm not going to. I'm going to go 6 as well.
I want you to go Mildenhall's where I want you to.
That's what I was thinking.
Isle of Wight 6. Ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Plymouth versus Mildenhall.
Another Mildenhall match. I've got a busy time. It's up to you to go first.
I'm going to go a draw. 45-45.
Interesting. It's normally me that goes for the draws.
I'm going to go Mildenhall by 4.
Mildenhall by 2. I think we think that's going to be a good match, don't we?
That's going to be competitive.
Next meeting.
Oh, good God, we've got it written up on the thing.
Oh,
That's
just
never happened
noticed.
before.
Next meeting.
Would it by any chance be Stoke versus Plymouth?
It is, yes.
Okay.
You're actually looking at your monitor.
Monitor, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Stoke versus Plymouth.
It's up to you.
Up to me. I'm going to go Stoke by 4.
You know, you'd think he knows what he's talking about, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I'll go Stoke by 6 then, just to be different.
I'm going to go Stoke by 12.
And the last
So we all
meeting.
think that
Plymouth.
Plymouth and them as well haven't got a chance. No, we've just fired Plymouth up.
And the last meeting, just as my monitor's about to go off, it'll come back on again, is Mildenhall versus Isle of Wight.
The return leg, eh? It's up to me, isn't it?
Yeah, it's up to you.
I'm going to go 6 points to Mildenhall. I just think the difference in the two tracks will be a factor.
I'm going to go 4 points to Isle of Wight.
Ooh.
We have this first difference of opinion.
I'm going to go Mildenhall by 4.
Mildenhall by 4. Damn, I was hoping he'd go your way.
I was trying to get him to sway.
Is that we'll have a strategy meeting next time, okay? And
That means you'll have to be here earlier.
Jeff's gone for Mildenhall 50, Isle of Wight 40. Chris has gone for Mildenhall by 10. Spud's gone Isle of Wight by 8. And James has gone Mildenhall by 12 at home. Duncan's gone Tigers 42, Isle of Wight 48. And Sean's gone Stoke by 8. There we go.
incredible amount of diversity in those.
Loads.
Good.
There you go.
All about opinions.
Should we say the league table once more before I take it off? There you go. There's me at the top. Yeah, okay, thank you.
I think he's cheating. This dude's there's something going on. How much have you paid, Matt?
It's incredible, isn't it? I'm shocked myself. Every time I see it every week, I think, that can't be right.
It's a fix. It's a fix. That's all I've got to say. Right, so we've got 10 minutes to talk about, well, whatever you guys want to talk about, or what you want to talk. Have you got anything that you would like to?
Well, as you may or may not know, I have a Facebook group, Speedway UK,
Speedway UK.
which is a slight change around from your UK Speedway Tavern. And I just want to, I don't know what people's opinion is of this, but I kind of think that the demographics of my group is predominantly 26% is over 45s to 54. I think it's 24%, 55 to 64, and 20% over 65. And I kind of think with I think we kind of lose the early 20s people, because I think they end up in a situation where they go from being sort of a teenager and paying £6 to go and watch the Speedway with their parents to then paying £18 And I know what I would be doing with £18 if I was 19, 20, 21 sort of thing. And
buying 1 pint these days.
well, yeah. But I'll be interested from Lawrence's perspective as a team manager, because I think, as they do in golf, I think there should be a bridging gap between being a child and moving into adulthood. So whether you sort of say, well, from 18 to 25 you pay £12 to come to watch the Speedway, and then from 25 to 30 you pay £15, so you're sort of breaking it slowly, because I think we actually lose the viewers who have been there when they were a kid going with the parents. The parents still go, but then we lose the kids when they go to adulthood. And I don't know if there's something that could be done with all the clubs throughout all the leagues, getting their heads together and sort of doing it, because I had a quick look at some of the tracks, and there is nothing from when you go from being an 18-year-old to then being an adult. You're a fully fledged adult paying full prices, and I think something should be done to sort of
It's
try
sort
and
of an in-betweeny.
yeah. At a golf club, a junior will pay £80 for as a junior, and then as an adult at the same golf club will pay £1,000 for argument's sake. But that person, when they turn 18 to 25, will end up paying something like £250 because they want to keep that person's their membership. They don't want them to leave because of giving it value for money. And then when they get from 25 to 30, it'll probably be £400. But it's getting them ready, because you don't get many 18, 19-year-old kids earning 35 grand a year and can afford to say, well, I can go to the Speedway and pay 18 quid. It means nothing to me. And I also think there needs to be a collaboration between all the clubs with regards to, if you buy a season ticket at Birmingham, then you should be allowed to go to another track at a concession rate.
I think Birmingham have done that.
They do. The Brummies do that.
Yeah.
They do that with they do with Wolverhampton, don't they?
Lawrence just said they've got a student rate at Brummies. So.
But if you're in employment, are you classed as a student?
Well, you're not, are you?
You're not, are you? So you're classed as an adult.
Possibly if you was an apprentice, you might be. But
I just think it's we lose that generation. I think we've lost a couple of generations, because the demographics of my group is there's nearly 1,500 people in that group. You know, the majority are, 75% are over 45.
Spud just said, I went to join your Speedway UK when you mentioned it, and he says, I've been a member since June last year and I had absolutely no idea. Life is creeping up on me way too fast. Sean Samo says, show student card for discount.
Well, obviously we do that at Birmingham.
If you're a student, it's great.
Yeah.
Anthony says he doesn't think it's down to pricing, Steve. He says no sport does that for spectators.
Well, but I would turn that around and say that there isn't a sport, even football now, where that demographic isn't being lost. I think that's happening in all sports. I think Speedway can probably afford to afford it less than football, for instance, to lose that. But I think,
if Speedway was getting the money in through other means to be able to say, well, you know what, we can afford to charge everybody a £5 to come. We were not in that situation, are we? We were in a situation where we can't afford for, the prices are the prices, because that's what the clubs need to sort of do they make a profit?
No. And which sort of talks to what Simon Corbett's saying, which is £10 for any adult.
Yeah.
But if that brought in enough extra people to be able to do that, then it would be worthwhile. But will it? I'm not sure it would.
For some clubs it might, but people who actually rent the ground or just
Jeremiah Bullfrog says the price doesn't come into it. Product just not good enough. Well, yeah, price always comes into it. We're in a competitive market, and price always comes into it. But the product. Okay, we've talked about some really brilliant matches this week, and so the product can be good enough. And I mean, I go back to I've spoke about this on the show before. I'm looking at the time. Have I got time to even say this? When I went to Stoke to watch the Brummies there, and nothing happened, and then we had a couple of races, and then there was an accident, and okay, the track needs to repair. Do you understand that? But there was a little bit of music in the background. Nobody was saying anything. And then 15 minutes later they came on the track, and then somebody pushed the tapes, and they came back again, and off they went. And then the tractors came out. It's just not joined up, is it?
Yeah.
And it was. If I'd have been at that match as the first time, I don't know, I'm watching paint dry.
Yeah.
So it needs to. That side of the product needs to be tightened up. There's
Entertainment
nothing as
factor.
exciting as these guys, these gladiators, as I've called them in the past, going around this track at
65 miles an hour.
so
with no
close
brakes.
together with no break. You can't. That's really exciting, but it's the stuff around it. I don't know how it's going. I haven't been to Wolverhampton this year, but I know at Birmingham they get through the heats pretty quick.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, bang.
I did say earlier that we'd done 11 heats in an hour last night. It was, we'd flown through
That's
the majority of them.
what you
what you
need to
want,
do.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, so
11 races.
if you have an accident comes and part of the fence goes down,
Yeah.
but people will understand that.
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry, that's one of my chief gripes. I tend to agree, but do wonder how much of 18 to 25s not going may just decide that they want to do their own thing. But price cut might help other 18 to 25-year-olds take up the sport. Well, you're always going to get that give and take.
For me, just putting it out there, you don't know whether you're barking up the wrong tree by saying it or what, but there's got to be some sort of collaboration with the clubs to be able to. People go on holiday in this country, and if you're down in Devon, why, if you're a season ticket at the Wolves, why wouldn't you want to go to watch Plymouth on a Thursday night when you're down there for a week? And if they was doing it at a concession rate because I'm a season ticket holder somewhere else,
Yes.
then let me go and watch it for a tenner instead of trying it's 18
You're
quid.
extra, aren't you?
Of course you are.
You're extra. So
You're part of the group. I think there's mileage in it, but it's what
Good
I'll
point.
put it out there.
Good point regarding the pricing structure. I'm a season ticket holder at Bellevue, and I pay for the Premiership ticket at £300 a year. I'm 31, and there's no way I'd have been able to afford that at the age of 18 to 21. And I remember handpicking meetings I could afford to go to, and what would have been the attractive meetings in the season. So that's sort of backing up what you said, and the season ticket idea. Lawrence Rogers said we did an incentive for football season ticket holders at last meeting and got a few in.
Yeah, it's got a few.
That's great promoting, by the way. I don't think anybody has anybody done that before.
The Wolves do it where I think if you're a season ticket holder, you can go in for free. It's one meeting of the year, I think, but I'm not sure which one.
This is an interesting comment. Why is it so dear when I can go to Cardiff for £20? I suppose the first answer is numbers. How many people go to Cardiff?
35, 40,000.
Yeah.
There's still room in there for another 20.
Anthony Bailey, it's not price, it's product. Why are there waiting lists for most expensive restaurants in Birmingham, yet the cheapest ones you don't need to book? Why? Product quality. People have plenty of money. Well, you might have plenty of money. I haven't. My son, who's 18 as it happens, and hoping to go to university if his results come in. Keep your fingers crossed for the 15th of August, people. He hasn't got the money. He won't, he's not even sure he's going to have enough money to feed himself at the moment.
And that's it.
And you know what? This used to be a working man's sport. I take your point there. I think it's a combination of both. I think it's both of them together. It's getting the mixture right, and I can hear the music playing in the background. Is it really that time?
It is, yes.
Goodness me. Well, obviously we can talk about that and talk about that. And turns out we can talk about Craig Cook for quite a long time as well. Can I just say thank you to Steve for joining us tonight, giving me somebody that makes me not look as idiotic as I am on this subject. And
Thanks for having me, guys.
I could
come
say
back.
something.
Yeah, you will after the show's down. I'm sure you will. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for joining in and taking part. And as always, no more injuries. Take care.
Speedway Tavern, come and have